Hello, Watson Gan, on our day 3 of my 21-day challenge. This is a 5-year plan I put together to help my fellow agent and broker in their business and in their life. And I tell you, if you will stick with me for 21 days and put a little time aside, in the next 5 years, you're going to have such a good life, such a successful business, you're able to make at least $1 million. And in a 5 years, you can walk away from this business, you can retire, I can do something different. Now, how could I be so sure? Well, I have done that. Yesterday I shared about how I was able, when I was still new in the business, I was able to be the high top earner in this real estate business. And also, I'm a lifelong student of learning something new and put it into my life. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you about a very important lesson in life called habit. To begin with, let me share with you a good habit that my wife and I have for many, many years. We're talking about from the beginning of our life. Every morning, since like about 1990, I believe, we have a radio program turned on to a station which is no longer on the air anymore. It's called Insight for Living. Insight for Living. You still can get good material if you just go to the computer, look for insight.org. Insight.org. It's taught by this gentleman, Chuck Swindoll. He used to base here in Southern California, a pastor of a church, and now they have moved to Texas. Now, Chuck Swindoll should be in his 80s. I have been avid student of his, learning the thing that he teach. And also I read a book that he wrote many years. Just every day there's a chapter, but there's a section more like a devotional I have done for many years. So I know about his thinking, his family. I felt I know his daughter. I know his community, his church, how he raised a family. It's a very balanced way of living a life. And I'm going to share a story from Mr. Swindoll. We call Pastor Swindoll. It's a story about an Indian priest. Once an Indian priest walked into a marketplace where things are sold, like foods and daily supply. He came across a counter. He came across a stall where a merchant was selling some live birds. Those birds, the best way to do is just, all the merchant does is take a little string, tie onto their legs, and put on the counter. And when the shopper come by, would just pick whichever bird that he or she would like to buy. And that's how we grab the bird, release the string, and pass on to the shopper. Now this priest, out of his religious conviction of respecting life, he decided to go and buy out all the birds, pay the money, and release those birds. So after he got all the birds, the merchant would just release bird one by one. He would try to take the bird and just let him go. Now you have your freedom to go. Start your new life of freedom. To his surprise, each of the birds, after the string got released, continued to stay on the counter. Looks like that's the only place they know to be safe, is the counter. And then the bird, even more interestingly, will continue to do the motion like what it has been for many years. Because of the string, the bird will go around in circle on that counter. The bird will continue to go in circle. Well, that is a very telling story for every one of us. You have heard that we human beings are creatures of our habit. Very often we live in a life where we feel secure, and also we would continue to go in circle on the little string that is tied into our life. Seldom we are able to break loose or break free from that. Years ago I read a book, I believe it's by Zig Ziglar, who is I consider a mentor and who has a great impact in my life. Mr. Ziglar would say something like this. Imagine in a circus, the biggest animal, the most powerful animal would have to be an elephant. To contain an animal that big, you have to build a cage. Talking about a very heavy cage. So this early on they figure out a way to do that very easily. It's just when the elephant are born, when they were still young, start kicking and running, all you can do is take a little chain big enough to tie onto the baby elephant's leg. So when the baby elephant had a chain on the leg, he would try to kick it off, but the chain would be strong enough to hold the elephant, but not to be able to break loose from it. Once the baby elephant kick on it, he'll feel the pain on his leg or on her leg. As a result, the baby elephant stops kicking, and this baby elephant will grow and grow to be the gigantic creature. So each time when the chain is on his leg, he tries to kick it, he'll feel the pain. He'll remember the pain from when he was a baby elephant. See, the elephant is so huge, so powerful. The little chain can hardly hold an elephant. Just a slight kick would break loose. But somehow, the owner or the operator of the circus know that the little chain, if it's applied early on in life, there would be more than enough to hold the baby elephant. How many chains have we been put on in our life? How many chains that we, because of pain that we've gone through, we just tolerate that. We don't even know that. Just by kicking a little harder, you could be easily loose. Get free from it. I shared this story in one of my emails many years ago. I got some really good response. The teacher told me, "Oh, thank you, Watson, for sharing that." Some call me Mr. Gunn, but I even shared it in my classroom, and I think it's worth repeating. Well, it goes something like that. We just had a holiday. There was a lady who was busy preparing a holiday meal. She would buy a ham, a long ham, right? And put it in the pan, the cooking oven. Right before I stick the ham into the pan and into the oven, she would just cut off the two ends of the ham and put it in the oven. Then the husband got curious. He said, "Hey, honey, why do you cut out on both ends of the ham every time you do? Each time when the ham come out from there, both sides get dry. And I think the ham would taste so much better if you put the thing in place and you would not ruin the ham on the both ends." Wow, the wife thought, I don't know. I've been doing this all my life and mom taught me that. I guess I better check with mom. So he picked up the phone and called mom up. Mom, by the way, Steve asked me why do we have to cut the ham on both ends? Mom said, "Oh, gee, grandma has been doing that since I was a little girl, and that's how I pick up from her. Well, let's ask grandma when my grandma come for dinner tonight." So grandma came for dinner, and then before they started the meal, enjoying the ham, they said, "Hey, this ham is kind of dry on both sides. Why would, we have to cut both ends off?" Grandma go, I don't know. My mom is the one been doing that. Well, the great grandma is in a convalescent home, couldn't be there to join them. So they decided after dinner they would pay great grandma a visit, bring some ham over, and also ask the all-important question. So great grandma was like, good thing great grandma is alive. Great grandma, "Oh no, the reason we did it because we had a little pan not long enough. We had to cut on both ends so that the ham would fit into the pan." "Oh, you didn't do that?" Wow. So many things in our life have been passed on from one generation to another, not even knowing that we come from different backgrounds, different religious belief, different upbringing, different class status in society. And you'd be surprised so many things that are unaware we have gave up on the best part, or things that we cut off actually are the best thing to retain, to keep the quality of life, or to make the ham taste so much better, so to speak. Sometimes you just don't have the luxury to go back to your parent and to your grandparent to find out why certain things are being done the way. And in real estate business, we get so many bad practices we pass on from one generation to another. When something goes wrong, we blame the escrow, we blame the other cooperating agent, or we blame the property. There's a habit that we do have, right? And there are so many things that we do in some of you big producer. Some of the practices you do in your business, you pass on to the people you train, to your team member. We have learned things from our broker. We have learned things from our coaches, from the people who ran before me. Even some of the people in our industry have done some really, really bad things. You know it, I know it, but we continue to tolerate that. Continue to be the chain that binds us. Continue to pass on one generation after another. So it's about time we think about what we can do to be better ourselves. So today I'm talking all about habit and how we change from our bad habit. Well, I also shared like a couple of days ago, before I got into real estate, I had a very successful business. I ran from scratch. I started from zero. The thing that I did was I serviced a bunch of restaurant and hotels. Sometimes I'm called to work in they call it cocktail lounge. It's a dignified way of calling bars. I remember there's a bar in Glendale, California. Glendale is like the city north of Los Angeles. Had called me to go and do some work in the cocktail lounge. And I remember vividly two things. The owner of the bar or the cocktail lounge happened to be a powerful figure in LA. He was a member of the police commissioner. There was the days when Darrell Gate, the old guard were in charge of the city hall and police department. And another thing he told me is that they want to do something, they want the best quality work. And I was new in the business. They happened to choose me over the other company that bidding for the job. I was happy. And I learned one important lesson which I will never forget in my life. And I'm going to share this with you. See, we try to get our work started early. I'll bring my crew in early in the morning so that when people are not so busy, and also to avoid the traffic. And this bar happened to open at 6 o'clock in the morning. And this is something that I'm going to share with you. So please, if you in any way struggle with this in your life, I'm not to condemn you in any way. You and I are in the same boat. I got so many habits, so many things that I need to drop, so many habits I need to change. Well, when I get to this with my crew, and it's before I work on it, before the door even open, there's a group of people out there waiting to get into the bar. Most people look at average blue collar, before some have jobs to go to, some may just, I don't know, that day off. But the sets of people, we've done it for several days, the sets of people always show up at 6 o'clock in the morning. They had to go in the morning to get a shot before they start their day. One gentleman I never forget, he dressed up very nicely with a suit, tie. And you would think he would be looking, could be a college professor, maybe a manager somewhere of a major company. And he would tell me this, well, I need to come have my drink. If it's not, I would not have started my day. Well, so many of us in real estate and business people, if you are one of them, you need to have a cup of coffee in the morning, right? To start your day. There's a habit that you have. If you have, that's fine. I'll share tomorrow about how I kick some of my bad habit. I'll save it for tomorrow. Now, these people who came in the morning to the bar to drink, that cup, I know one of them is like $8 a cup. They could easily do that at home and buy a bottle and pay a fraction of that. $8 worth of a cocktail drink is probably will cost him $1 if you buy a bottle and pour at home. But he need to be in the setting with the people, like the old sitcom say, you like to go to a place where everybody knows your name, and you'll be so glad that you came. It's a fellowship. It's a little gathering. It's a thing that they just start. This is how they start the day. It's a habit. We, as in real estate business, we are accustomed to so many bad habits. We could easily save a bundle by not run to Starbucks to spend that, I don't know, $5 for the latte, or you can save by a few adjustments in your life. So this is what I'm talking about, habit. Like I said, the whole aim of this 21-day challenge is to put some good system, good thinking, good ritual in your life that you're able to work for your next 5 years. And you'll be so effective, you'll be so good at what you're doing. At the same time, you can save money. You can be able to walk away with $1 million. And you can be thinking about your whole real estate career. You can continue on, or you don't have to do that again. You can take the money to invest somewhere else. So this is about habit. Well, I want to share a little bit about my journey in real estate. And my journey consists of a lot of learning, a lot of studying. I know we real estate agent and broker, we're very busy. It's very pathetic how much time we spend on studying or reading, especially reading. And I'm doing this so that you don't have to. Talk about habit, I cannot not mention about Dr.
the late Dr. Stephen Covey of BYU. He's probably he has some of the most cutting edge thinking, even he's been gone for many years now. You heard about the 7 habits of the highly effective people. I even have this book for my kids. I encourage my kids to read when they were younger. My children, I think I mentioned, are very successful in their study and in their career. If you have teenager in your kids, it's highly recommended. It's easy, bite-sized, with pictures, make it more attractive. If they can learn under the 7 habits, it would be they'll help them in the early start in life. And I mentioned about this 7 habits of the highly effective people. I read it in the form of a family, talk how you apply it in your family life, how you deal with difficult people in your home and your relative.
Well, a little bit about my son and my daughter. Our son Jason has designed some of the most impressive advertising projects. I mean, things you see on TV like BMW. He's also the one that did advertising for National Association of Realtor commercial. If you look under jasongunn.com, you get to see some of his fine work there. And our daughter Kayla had just got accepted into USC doctorate program. When he applied for USC 4.5 years ago, there were like hundreds or maybe even thousands of people applying for that program. Out of those applications, only 11 of them got accepted. Then she's go on to finish her master's degree in one shot. And then just lately got accepted into doctorate program. We couldn't be more proud. And I want to thank all the people who's listening, who has been a part of our life. Those who are in Boy Scout with my son, all the teacher, all the different in different classes, all the way from preschool all the way to college, and professor who has been such a blessing. For that, I want to take this opportunity to thank you. And we always remember, without you, our son and our daughter would not be where they are today.
But this is a book that not many people, also by Stephen Covey, not many people talk about. It's intense, it's heavy. I have this book for, I would say, 12, 15 years, and it's still a book I always pull out and read. Sometimes I read a chapter, sometimes I read just a story. For some of the insight, it's really cutting edge, some of the high level thinking to help you. And the whole idea of me doing this series of 21 day challenge is to put not just good habit. I wouldn't stop at habit. Habit is good. And we as a professional, as real estate agent, we try to be effective. We try to be efficient. We try to get things done more with less time, with less energy. We try to make more money. Those are all good and stuff. But don't stop at effectiveness. With Dr. Covey, he taught us about how you can acquire this bad habit. And the whole idea is from effectiveness to greatness. Effectiveness to greatness. Build a life that you can be so proud. Build a life, a business that contribute to people that you love. Build a life that impact your client, the people that you serve. Build a life that benefit the community. I remember I grew up in a Methodist home. The founder of John Wesley would say something like that: gain all you can and save all you can and give all you can. What a great motto. What a great way to live your lives. Many times we make so much money, we are not able to save it. By the end of the year, most of the money are gone. So here you have it. Today is about habit. Habit H. Remember the letter H. And I'm going to end the rest of the day by sharing with you one word that you're not likely to get anywhere else. I told you that all my life I just love to learn from great minds. Some of the great minds you can buy them from their book, learn it from their books. You can watch on YouTube. You can gain it in classroom. Some of the best colleges. If you are lucky, like some people get to go to Harvard or Princeton or Stanford. Well, I wasn't quite that fortunate. Or some of you may not even have a chance to go to college, but that's okay. I promise you, if you will just stick with my 21 day, you're going to get some insight that most people don't even have. Here I want to honor a gentleman whom is a father to me. We call him Coach. He's more than a coach. His name is Al Hollingsworth. He's a successful businessman, an African American brother who done a lot to serve not just his company, built a very successful business, He's impacted the world all over, in the third world, in Japan, in different countries, doing this thing called the Boss the Movement, BOSS, the movement. I got to know Mr. Hollingsworth when I was young. I just became, I think, before I was even a father, I learned some great valuable thing. He taught me this one word called ROPOH. Okay, I'm gonna just, if you don't take anything away from today, or so far this is the third day, just remember this thing called REPOH. Like I said, this is not in the dictionary, ROPOH. We as real estate agent, we know repo, REO, selling bank-owned homes called repo. But just add the word H in it, as you have it. This is something I learned when I got to know Mr. Hollingsworth. A group of younger, I would say, people would gather up on a mountain above Palm Spring. We had a thing called a vertical leap. Vertical leap, L-E-A-P. Our intention is to take a big leap in our life, go upward, and we walk up away from the 3-day retreat. A totally change our thinking, our mindset, the way we approach life, approach work and business, totally different. And this is one important lesson you get from us. There was, I think, right before the Y2K, the year 2000, Mr. Hollingsworth has a thing that happening up on the mountain above Palm Spring. I remember vividly we were up there for 3 days, 2 nights, with a group of business people, entrepreneurs, people who are in leadership, people who are looking to take a vertical leap in life, who want to be more effective. We have a big real estate tycoon flew in from New York City. I remember he is a wonderful gentleman, and some of the sweetest, most beautiful lady who just have a desire to serve people. And a young fellow coming from Wisconsin, he came to California for the very first time. You would think he wanted to go to Disneyland afterward, right? You would think that he wanted to go to the beach. No, after the thing he flew right back. Just so happy. It's like, this is a trip of his life. So we had a thing called vertical leap, and I learned this many great important lessons in life. One of those lessons is ROPOH, R-E-P-O-H, and I'd like to share this with you. ROPOH stands for R-E-P-O-H, stands for repetition, for R, followed by E, stands for easy, repetition, and then E is easy. The P stands for pleasure, goes to O. O stands for often, pleasure, often, and then H stands for habit. H stands for habit. So ROPOH, R-E-P-O-H, repetition, easy, pleasure, often, habit. Let's just say, let's use an example. When I was a kid, I'm not a very sport type of figure. A lot of times when I play ball, all my classmates made fun of me. So I determined to do at least one thing good. And a lot of times I don't have time to do a lot of workout. I like to do in the morning, as I get up, I'll do a push-up. I have been doing 50 push-ups every morning for a long time. At the beginning, it wasn't easy. I can get to 10, that's about it. Then somehow I improved to 20. That was like max. In my thinking, it's kind of like the little elephant I talked about earlier, the little chain. If you do push-up, it's what normal people would do. 20 is a lot. But I determined to do 50 push-ups. So I get up in the morning without even thinking about it. As soon as I hit the floor, I would do 50 push-ups. The thing about doing push-up is that I felt like within 2 minutes of workout, I can do as much workout as I would do other type of workout, half an hour, even for a brisk walk for an hour. I think I do just as much for a 50 time push-up, which is habit I got acquired. So based on the ROPOH principle, I did was in the morning, without even thinking, I just jumped on the floor, hit the floor, and did a 50 push-up. Of course, the first time it's not going to be easy. Second time, a little easier, but still not easy. After you do that for a week, for a month, that become a part of you. And when you repeat it, it become easier. ROPOH, right? Repeat and then easy. When it's easy, you feel good about it. The good feeling is what is meant by pleasure. So when you do your 50 push-up, you feel good about yourself. It's become a pleasure. When I don't do that, I just somehow feel like something is not right. It's like you put the shoe in the wrong foot. You know, because it's pleasure, you want to pursue that good feeling. You would do that often. In my case, it's daily. So ROPOH is repeat, and then easy become pleasure, pleasure become often. If you do that, you become a habit. So a habit of mine, I'm proud, I'm glad to say that, is 50 push-up every morning. So this is a good way to kick habit. Now you may have some other habit, I don't know, so many of us are dealing with habit with TV, maybe with overeating or eating certain kind of food. Well, I'd like to share about my life experience. Is another thing would be worth mentioning, the late great Alex Trebek had just passed away. Man, this is a man I've been really enjoy his program Jeopardy for, I don't know, since I was in college. With a busy life in real estate, it would be very nice in the evening after dinner at 7 o'clock, tune into Alex Trebek. He has some tough, challenging question. I know that I do not know most of the questions. Sometimes I don't even know, half, for sure do not know half the answer to those questions. But when a question is being asked, you can answer and the other people don't know, you feel good about that. And the thing I enjoy the most is when they do a final Jeopardy, right? I'll try to pretend I'm the contestant too. And when all the contestants couldn't get an answer correctly, and when I got an answer right, that really feel like, man, I'm on top of the world. These are the smartest, the brightest, and the brightest up there. They got the answer wrong, and you can get an answer right. So they become really a part of my life, my routine, so to speak. My wife is a great cook. Every night she cook something, the nicest meal for us. We would enjoy the meal. I would go out to my recliner upstairs and just relax for a little bit, let the food digest, and enjoy the Jeopardy for 30 minutes, and put my mind, stimulate my thinking, and also increase my knowledge. I appreciate a lot of things that I learned from that program. So Jeopardy has become a part of my habit. And then later on, I heard in life that after you have your dinner, if you don't do anything for the day, you need to at least take a little walk, even just a short walk, to get your blood going, get your digestion going, get your, food going down properly on the pipe. But then I always wait till I finish watching Jeopardy. And by the end of that, maybe you get too tired, and a lot of times the walk just never happened. Some years ago, I determined to make a point with my wife. We both agree, after dinner, unless it's raining like crazy, unless it's something, we are going to take a little walk. We will take a walk, not too far, just go at the end of our block. The whole thing maybe about half a mile, and just make the walk and come back. And that's at least we will have that as a habit. And at the beginning, it wasn't easy to, you think about Alex Trebek, what would he be doing? Oh, I could be sitting down, I could be enjoying. But you do it one evening, and second evening, make it a little easier. Then 1 week go by, it's a whole lot easier. And then later on, it become a habit. So Alex Trebek no longer occupy my 7 o'clock to 7:30 time slot. So those are things that we need to do, is to break our habit, to put in something better for our life, for our health, for our business, for our finances, for our family. Like I say, this whole 21-day challenge is about the whole topic to it. Yes, it's about habit. And it's also about from effectiveness to greatness. You don't want to just be making so much money, and at the end you drive a nice car, you got some nice listing, you work so hard, at the end the money goes somewhere else, to Uncle Sam, and then to pay for this and pay for that, or waste that somewhere else. You don't get to enjoy that. Your loved one didn't get to have it. I know so many realtors who were at the end of their retirement, there's not much to fall back on. So this is all about putting something in place so that we can build a great life. We can enjoy our life. We can be more fulfilling. We can impact people more. Our children, our wives, and our husbands, and also the people that we serve. So here's my day 3 challenge on my 21-day challenge. Hope you enjoyed it. Please share this with your friend, with your colleague, with anybody that you think can benefit from learning a good habit, from kicking bad habit, from being a better person. And I would greatly appreciate that.